Rebecca, thanks for joining me today. To start, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Rebecca Brown. I'm a junior at Vanderbilt University. I'm a double major in human and organizational development and gender and sexuality studies with a business minor. And I am the incoming president of the Vanderbilt Innovation and Entrepreneurship Society, or VINES for short.
Awesome. Yeah, excited to chat with you about Vines today. How did you first learn about the Oregon campus?
When I was a freshman, just walking around on campus, I saw a poster for an entrepreneurship organization. So I just went to the information session, heard about this program called Cohort, which is like a 6-week accelerator in entrepreneurship taught by students. And I applied and joined through that.
Cool. And I was reading through the website before this call. I saw the organization was formed in 2013. It said on the website you guys had around like 400 members. I don't know if that's still the case, but is there any other like background information that you think is important to share before we dive into the questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So Vines was founded in 2013 by a student who originally just was interested in tech entrepreneurship. He just went to a professor and said, "Hey, do we have anything on campus that relates to this?" And a professor said, "No, but I'd love to help you start one." So I think it's really cool to see how much Vines has developed since then, that it started in tech entrepreneurship, and now it just encapsulates almost every industry in entrepreneurship you can think of.
That's awesome. And I saw you guys run several programs. Innovation Cohort, 1,000 pitches. You guys have a speaker workshop series, something called Startups and Slice. Are those all the current programs that you're running, or what are, can you give an overview of the programming?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, as I previously mentioned, we have our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cohort. That is a 6-week accelerator in entrepreneurship, which is led by upperclassmen in Vines. So already that internal mentorship we have going on is so strong, and it just creates such strong connections through the organization. We take a class of about 25 students per semester. You have to have no previous background in entrepreneurship. If you do, great. If not, we take anybody. We're just really looking for innovators who want to make an impact and create a startup. And then we also have speaker series, which we have now encapsulated in our professional development programming. I'm heading that committee this semester, and that's been a great time, just helping students beef up their LinkedIns just to make sure that they can connect with other entrepreneurs in the area. We've had upperclassmen panels where upperclassmen students talk about their startups. And we also have more casual things put on by our social committee, like Startups and Slices.
Cool. And for the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Cohort, like what types of startups are people building? Is this like traditional tech startups where they want to raise venture capital one day? Are these small businesses? Are these nonprofits? Or what are people working on?
What's so great about Cohort is all of the above. Two of my favorite examples are a really good friend of mine named Sam. He was the previous president of Vines. He created a nonprofit called Chicago Beach Cleanup. So he's from Chicago. He grew up there, and he just loves the beaches there and just wanted to make a social impact. And so he started Chicago Beach Cleanup. So now companies can sign up through his programming to help clean up the beach there. And then on the complete other side, I have a friend named Rishi who has a startup called Easy Read. So it's like SparkNotes for textbooks. He utilizes artificial intelligence to go through textbooks, and he'll post those online for people, and it's subscription based.
Cool. And then for the speaker series, who are maybe some like speakers or people you brought in to talk to the club?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's always been different in the past. We just had a friend of Sam's come in from Chicago who was really involved in venture capital. We're looking right now into local entrepreneurs, so mostly people from the Nashville area, but if one of the executive board members has a connection from outside of the organization, we'll bring them in. And then also some of the Wondery staff. The Wondery is Vanderbilt Innovation Center. It's combinations of the words wonder and foundry. And so the staff is so knowledgeable here about so many things. It's actually the building I'm in right now. And so a lot of the time we'll have staff come in and talk to our organization about what they're working on and how they're helping students create startups.
Awesome. And how does a student at Vanderbilt join Vines? Like, is there an application process? Is this open to anyone, or how does it work?
Absolutely. So the only application part of Vines is the cohort program. We would love to make it accessible to everyone. As of right now, we just don't have the bandwidth to make our class size over 25. But otherwise, just on AnchorLink, which is like Vanderbilt's little like portal account. That's how you join. You can join on AnchorLink, or you can just join our GroupMe. We have posters all over campus. So what's great about Vines is anyone can join at any time.
So graduate students are also like can join this club, or just undergrads?
Graduate students can join the club. What graduate students tend to do is compete in our pitch competitions. I feel like our usual programming, like the Startups and Slices, the panels I mentioned before, is
Yeah.
most targeted at undergrads, but our pitch competitions are targeted to the entire campus.
Cool. And then you mentioned there is an application for the Innovation Entrepreneurship Cohort. Like, what are you looking for when selecting students for that program? I know you mentioned you don't need previous experience. Yeah.
We're just looking for innovative, creative thinkers, people who are willing to take risks. So our application process for that looks like it's first like just a plain written application, just a couple questions like, why are you interested in entrepreneurship or innovation, things like that. Our second round was we had all the students who applied come into a room together. We split them up into groups of 5, and then we just gave them a prompt. We said, okay, there's XYZ problem on campus. Together, come up with a like innovative solution to that. It can look like anything you want it to be. And we set 10 minutes, and we just got to see them work as a group, see who was coming up with creative ideas, who was contributing in creative ways. So things like that, yeah.
Awesome. And what do you see as like the biggest opportunities to improve Vines?
Absolutely. So this year, a big goal of mine as the incoming president is to increase the size of our pitch competitions. So 1,000 pitches is our virtual pitch competition. We just hosted that and it went really well. We had 35 submissions. That's completely virtual, very low barriers to entry, only 1-minute submission videos. So we had a couple submissions for that. However, 48-hour launch is our pitch competition in the spring. And it's a 2-day long pitch competition, takes up the whole weekend. A lot of hype around it, a lot of excitement. We have workshops, speakers, a lot of judges sponsoring, great prizes. So in the past, it's only been open to Vanderbilt, but I really want to get us more involved in the innovation ecosystem here in Nashville. So I'd love to open that up to other schools.
Cool. And for people who watch this video but aren't students at Vanderbilt, like what's the best way to plug in? Is it through the speaker series, coming to talk to students? Is it through sponsoring the pitch competition and offering prizes? Or what are some of the ways you work with maybe external partners?
Both of those options that you just said are fantastic ways to get involved. Also, just following us on Instagram, we post a lot of our awesome programming, a lot of our needs, a lot of our events on our Instagram, and just connecting with us on LinkedIn as well. Our Instagram is vines.vu.
Cool. And for students who are interested in maybe joining the internal team and organizing similar to the capacity you're in, how do they get involved that way? Do you just recruit internally from the organization, or yeah, how does that work?
So we don't necessarily have like an internal or external team. We just have our executive board of 6 that helps programming those events. And for that, we just really look and see who's been super involved, who's been consistently showing up to events, who's been also helping and mentoring other students. That's traits we look for in our executive board members as well. But otherwise, again, anyone is welcome to join Vines. In terms of cohort, again, we're just looking for those creative, innovative thinkers who want to take risks and start something new.
Yeah, makes sense. And then last question, is there anything I didn't ask about that you think is important to know for a student considering Vines?
Definitely that Vines is always growing, and in the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship, we are absolutely open to new ideas. As I mentioned at the beginning of this call, Vines looks absolutely nothing like it did 10 years ago. We are increasing our programming every year. We're trying out new things. And so if someone is interested in joining Vines and you have ideas about how we can grow this organization, we're open to them. We would love to hear them.
Awesome. That's a great way to finish. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.